Yo guys, your boy MCO. I'm back today with another video, and I kind of want to start a mini series of Road to Hazard Player of the Month. Now he's expected to come out this Friday, considering that he's done phenomenal in the Prem. He's had a hat trick. He scored against Liverpool. He scored against Bournemouth, I believe, as well. And people are saying Sterling, but I really doubt that Sterling's gonna win it over Hazard. Hazard just been on top of everybody else for this month. And I just want to show you some ways where not maybe like investing and flipping players at in a short period of time, and it could actually help out to get to Hazard. Now, I don't know how much coins you guys have available, but even with the low amount of coins, you can still find ways to make profits. And first of all, I'll go over the investments I have right now, and I have a bunch more in my club, but this is just in the transfer list. So I bought 3 checks at a price of 17k for each. Now check, he's 84 rated goalie. He's from the Prem, so that's a main part of it. So if he's required for the SBC, then I have him available. And the plan would be either keeping one and selling the other 2, or seeing maybe I have cheaper options. But for the most part, I bought him for 17. He's up to 20 right now on Footbin. And if he's required for the SBC, which is highly likely, he's a high rated Prem goalie, so he's probably going to go up to 24, 25, maybe a little more if you're lucky. You also have another goalie, which I got, that's an inform from the French League. I got him for 11.2. And he is, I believe, a good investment in my eyes, because he's almost discard value. And you could use him in the SBC if a League 1 inform is required. And I have a very strong feeling that League 1 inform will be required, considering Hazard played in League 1, and usually that's what they've done in the past with Hazard in previous FIFAs. But another main thing would be investing in players that are high rated, because you can never really fail with high rated players. For example, Busquets, I got him for 17.5. He's an 88 rated midfielder from Spain, plays for Barcelona. So he's a player you're never really gonna see much lower than 17.5. Maybe you'll see him at like 16, but you're never gonna see him lower much, because he's a player that's gonna be required in SBCs. He has a high rating. He does link with a lot of other players. So I got him for 17.5. Footbin right now shows him at a price of about 24,000 coins. And if he's required for the SBC, he might go up to even like 26, 27. He could go up a lot. And another player would be Iniesta. Now Iniesta, I joined the hype for Iniesta much later. I should have actually checked him out earlier, because I do remember seeing him at about 10k at some point like 2 weeks ago. But I got him a few days ago, 13.5. He's up to 15k right now, which is not terrible price, but in my opinion, even at 15, it's a little high for Iniesta. But if you're able to find him on a bid for maybe 12, 13ish, he still has a very high chance to go up to 18, 19, maybe even more. Because the high rating matters. He's 87. He's a Spanish midfielder, so he's gonna link with a lot of players, which in a Hazard SBC is gonna be a high rated team. This SBC is not gonna be cheap at all. We're looking at about a minimum of 700, 800,000 coins that you're gonna need for Hazard. So you need to make as much money as possible from any players that you have or invested in. Another player I did invest in a lot, but I actually sold half of my investments of him, was Fabregas. Now Fabregas, he's an 84 rated center mid from Chelsea and Spanish, and chances are really high that they're going to require Chelsea players in one of the SBCs. And considering that Hazard is going to be such a good card to have, they're probably going to make it a high rated SBC, not just Chelsea players. So Fabregas, I actually got him for 4.5. I got about 10 of them, a little more. And I saw that a few days ago he spiked up to about 7.2 in price, and I figured that I sold half of my investments off, made about 3k on each of them. And I figured I'll keep the other half, because there's still a high chance that he's going to be required, so he might go even up to 8, 9k or even more. So that's why I got a few Fabregases there. Another thing was Kepa. Kepa I have 7 or 8 of. And Well, I used to have 7 or 8. I sold a few of them for about 3.5, a little more. But like I said, I found Kepa at 1.9 on the market when I got him. A high-rated goalie, plays for Chelsea. He is Spanish, so he's gonna be in demand when that SBC comes out, most likely. So, picking him up at around 2-ish, you could make some profit. He might go up to 4 or 5k. So that's still 3,000 coins you could put in your pocket, pretty easy. Another player would be Carrasco. Now, a lot of people didn't actually get Carrasco. I haven't seen many people talking about him or investing in him. But I do want to say that, he's an 83 rated left, I believe left mid. This one's changed to left winger. 83 left mid. He is from Belgium. And even though he's in a Chinese league, like I said, it's very simple. You could link someone like Iniesta to him. And this one's a Belgium, so the high rating is still there. He's a Belgian player, which is probably going to be required because of Hazard. And, I got him for 3.5. Now, I bought 4 Carrascos in total. He did spike up to about 4.6k a few days ago, so I figured I just sold 2 of them. I kept 2. I might look into getting more of him. I'll check the market a little later. If I could find him for like less than 3k, I'd be happy. And another player would be Wijnaldum. Now, again, another player that people don't really think of, but considering that one of the matches that Hazard played against was Liverpool, there is a chance that there could be a Liverpool player requirement. If you remember in previous FIFAs when Hazard did have a player of the month, Liverpool players were required. So for Wijnaldum, I actually had 6 or 7 of them a few days ago. And I ended up getting them like late night, about 2-3 a.m. US time, and I was able to get them for 2.3, 2.4, and I ended up selling them the next day. Literally, like the next day, I woke up a few hours later, I sold them for 3.8. So there's your chance. One player that was pretty low at night, next thing you know, in the morning he goes back up against 3.8. All you have to really do is just go on Footbin and check out the trend of the player. If you see that the player for the almost a full day was at a price of, let's say, 3.6, 3.7, 3.8, then you have a pretty safe bet. If you get him for lower, for like in the 2000s, if you get him 2000s, there's not really much reason for the player to go down. So he's only going to go up, so you have a pretty safe bet there. Especially considering that Wijnaldum is a pretty meta player. I've seen a lot of people using him. And another thing I want to talk about, which would be a main thing for me that I've been doing lately, was UCL players. Now, here's one example. I got this guy from Napoli. Now, I'm not exactly sure. You can't be exactly sure with the market for these cards because there's a very low supply of them. They're only available from one marquee matchups. So you can't really, there is really no set price for them, but they're going to be high in price just because of the supply being so low. But this one, I stayed up until 2-3 a.m. in the morning and I was able to find them for a very low price. I got him for a 3.1k bid. And if you see on Footbin, he's going for about 7 point something k. Now this one's the one I haven't sold yet. I put him a little lower because I just want to get rid of him. But I've been doing this with a bunch of UCL players where I would just buy them on bid for like much lower. Bernat I found for much lower, about like 2 point something k. I sold him for like 7. Spinazzola, I found him for 3k. I sold him for 6.5. But the idea is a bunch of these UCL players, I was just, Choupo-Moting was another one that I was able to sell for a lot. But the idea is you find these UCL players, like go on late at night and try to find these UCL players and try to bid on them for a low amount. Another one, for example, I have one saved here. You see Corona, he's 82 rated. Oh, that's actually a nice card, 5-star, 5-star. But besides the point, he has a starting price of 3.4. But if you actually check the market for him, 7 is the lowest you're gonna find, and that's only one card. So realistically, okay, 6.8. There's 7, 6.8. So realistically speaking, you could maybe get him at like 4k, 4.5k, and you could make over 2,000 coins profit just from that one card. So the whole point of it, like I said, go on late at night and try to get these UCL players on a cheap price. Try to bid on them and then just hold on to them until the next day. Not too long, but until next day, and then just sell them. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for me for today. I'm going to keep going with this series for a few more episodes, and hopefully we could get Hazard by the end of it. Peace out, Chiefs!